Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakal Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as were the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Yakale, and I'm from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp. And this video is an update regarding the prophecy in Ezekiel chapter 38, as well as World War III, etc. Because prophecy is building up to hit its fulfillment, all right? And when it is that you're keenly observing what's going on in the world, you know, when you're a part of this truth, it's very clear what's happening. And it's actually very beautiful to see, you know, because I was browsing routers and I encountered this article: Russian raid off Turkey's coast tests Erdogan's resolve, right? Now, both Russia and Turkey are major players in World War III, okay? Russia will be going against the US and NATO, the US being Mystery Babylon the Great, and NATO her allies, right? And the thing about Turkey is that Turkey is currently a part of NATO, but Turkey is going to be one of Russia's greatest allies. And what is happening right now is that transition of Turkey moving towards strengthening their ties with Russia, okay? Now, this was posted today, August 16th, and, you know, some stuff happened here, but when I was reading the article, something really stood out to me that was like, wow, that I didn't know before. So I'm going to read a bit of it. It's going to be a little bit, you know, here and there. But Russia's raid on a ship just off Turkey's coast brings the fallout from the Ukraine war to another NATO frontier and raises the stakes as Ankara seeks to coax Moscow back to a grain export deal that would restore some calm to the Black Sea. All right. Armed Marines raided the Turkish-based vessel via helicopter on Sunday, some 37 miles off Turkey's northwest coast in international waters, but near Istanbul, in what Moscow called an inspection before it sailed on to Ukraine. Now, here it is. Turkey, NATO's second largest military, right? Turkey is NATO's second largest military, but the prophecy says, okay, the prophecy says that Turkey is going to be one of Russia's greatest allies, right? But here it is that Turkey is NATO's second largest military. So imagine when it is that Turkey joins officially with Russia and leaves NATO, okay? Now, let me get the prophecy. This is Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 1. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And that's talking about the Russians. All right? It's not talking about the originals that are of Gog and Magog. It's referring to the Russians as they dwell in that land over there today, where Gog and Magog used to dwell. Okay? And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, still talking about Russia, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. All right? So they're going to be going to war. All right? In Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, it says that the second woe is past. Actually, let me just get it. 11 verse 14, Revelation. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So that's World War III. So it's gonna happen, man. Okay? And what we're seeing is Yahweh Shimishai putting all of the pieces in place leading up to it, right? Because things take time, things have to be put in place. Okay? So back to Ezekiel 38 and verse 4, and I'll turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And that great company will be Russia's allies. So let's get into them. Persia, the first one listed, which are known today as the Iranians, Iran. Okay, now y'all know what it is if you're, aware of what's going on in the world. The relationship between Iran and Russia today, very strong. All right, those same Iranians are also known as the Elamites. That's their true biblical nationality. Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And Ethiopia and Libya, those are referring to the African nations, so-called, which are the biblical Hamites. Okay? And those relations have been building very beautifully as well over time, right? As prophecy says will happen. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. And this is talking about Turkey right here, the Turkish people. So it lists Iran, it lists the African nations, and then here it gives its own section right there to Turkey to show you how important of an ally they will be to Russia. Okay? So we're seeing that transition now. Things have happened between Turkey and its allies, its current allies in the form of NATO and America over the years. There has been some tension, there's tension, then there's a bring it back, then there's tension, then they bring it back. All right, but there's this back and forth over the years. Okay? Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is going to be a guard unto these nations, right? But Turkey is very important, man, within this prophecy. So here it is that Turkey, NATO's second largest military. So since we know that Turkey is going to be turning against NATO at some point, they're going to be joining Russia. It goes to show you how they are the second largest military, and how much power, when it is that they join Russia, how much power that side is going to gain. And then it can really help you to visualize even more how it is that the US and NATO are going to lose over there in the so-called Middle East, as it talks about in the book of Joel chapter 2 and 20, right? That their stink shall come up, that they're going to lose over there against Russia and Russia's allies during World War III. And then at the climax of that, things will happen in a way where even NATO, so first it's going to be like Turkey officially just leaving, and then eventually all of NATO, all right, they're going to turn against America and destroy her. And that's biblical prophecy letting us know in the book of Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. The 10 horns is talking about the European Union, okay? And the beast is talking about NATO, right? These shall hate the whore. The whore is talking about America. Mystery Babylon the Great. When you go up into Revelation chapter 17, Salakio, it talks about, I guess I should just read it, right? And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that whore is America, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. All right, America's ways, it has spread, okay? So, which America's ways are Esau's ways, because Job chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. The Edomites are ruling today, which are the so-called white people. This is their kingdom, all right? And their main hub is America. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names, blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And that 7 heads is talking about those 7 governments or kingdoms that have been ruled by Esau, right? Which includes the Greeks, the Romans, you had the Spanish, the French, the British, and Germania Major and Germania Minor, okay? And then the 10 horns is talking about that European Union, right? And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations, filthiness, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right, that is America. Okay, so, you know, when you go through it here, let me see. Right. When we go to verse 10, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, right? Because, you know, when you look at the history during Esau's Renaissance period, you see that these various different, the Spanish was ruling, the French, right? And then it went to when the British were ruling. Okay, and it says 5 are fallen, and 1, and the other is not yet come, right? So it was the British that was ruling, and then the one that didn't come as yet is America. And you know, in the scripture it says your mother shall be sore confounded, right? Which it's like the mother of America is the British. You know, she gave birth to America. You know, she came after, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So we're in that short space right now of the American rulership, which is the Edomite rulership. And the beast that was and is not even he is the 8th. So that 8th is America and is of the 7. So it's all of the cumulation, no, not saying it right, the accumulation of all of those other Edomite rulerships coming together into one and showing itself with America, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, right? The 10 horns, the European Union, are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast, right? Which is NATO. And that's it, man. All right, that is the power structure that is going on right now. All right, America's at the head, and then you have all of these other Edomite-led nations with it. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast, right? So, yeah, man, going back to the verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, all right, 10 horns, European Union, the beast being NATO, these shall hate the whore, hate America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So they're going to turn against America eventually, all right? Including that Turkey, man, which the video started with the relations between Russia and Turkey building, okay? And what we're seeing when it says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh. So what America's own allies have been doing over time is weakening her position on the world stage, right? America has been really suffering because of some of the moves, but she's still in power. And then eventually they're going to burn her with fire. Those ICBM missiles will be destroying America, all right? America's going to be obliterated, okay? So, yeah, man. That's what's going on. I'm gonna pause the video real quick to see if there's anything more important in the article to bring out. All right, so here it is a little bit more, where it says that Turkey has positioned itself to facilitate any peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. It has opposed the Russian invasion, but also the Western sanctions on Moscow. See, it has opposed the Russian invasion, so it's in the middle right now. You see, so it's transitioning though. It has opposed the Russian invasion, but also the Western sanctions on Moscow. So it doesn't agree with what its allies are doing to Russia. and ramped up economic cooperation with Russia through the war. So they are actively working with Russia, despite the current tension that's, going on between America and Russia, right? So it's all through the spirit of Yahweh Shemishai, man. Okay? It's a very long article. Here it is at the end. Therefore, Erdogan should negotiate and try to convince Western countries, not Putin, for the reinstatement of the deal. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's the point. That's the main point, that biblical prophecy is showing itself very clearly in front of our eyes, man. Okay? And it's only a matter of time before all of these things start to pop off. All right? And the most important to look for right now is that mark of the beast, which is a microchip, because World War III will not pop off in the way that it needs to until that is made mandatory worldwide, that microchip, mark of the beast. So with that, I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashar Makal Kodesh, Wa Abad, Babal, Shalom.